So, good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to The Bridge. The Bridge is our signature webinar series at Future Shift Labs, where we engage with some of the most urgent questions concerning emerging technologies and public purpose. My name is Anhaietaa Puri, and I have the privilege of serving as your moderator and host for today's session. Each month, the Bridge convenes leading voices from policy, technology, academia, and civil society. Our conversations are rooted in what's current, but always framed by what's coming. And today's theme is one that sits right at the heart of this moment: Guardians or Glitches, AI at the front lines of national security. Now, the rise of artificial intelligence has fundamentally redrawn the landscape of national security. From cyber operations and surveillance systems to predictive defense and battlefield autonomy, AI has become a central actor in how modern states protect, defend, and project power. But with these capabilities come critical questions. For example, what new vulnerabilities are we opening up? How do we guard against algorithmic manipulation, deepfakes, autonomous escalation, or cyber sabotage? And how do we ensure that national interest isn't compromised by technological opacity or foreign dependencies? Many may not have realized, but AI has been embedded in our society and technologies for decades. The AI of last year is not the AI of today, and it will certainly not be the AI 6 months from now. This rapid evolution is particularly significant when we think about the national security challenges AI may pose. This session is an attempt to understand this and broaden our brains, benefiting from the vast experience of our guests today. We are honored to be joined by two extraordinary speakers, both decorated veterans of the Indian Army and now distinguished thought leaders in their own right. Colonel Nidhish Bhatnagar is a seasoned military veteran and an accomplished technology strategist. Sir is the CEO of Raython.ai, where he leads a new age AI and cybersecurity firm developing next generation solutions to counter evolving digital threats. He also serves as a strategic advisor at Thorsec Global Private Limited. Previously, Colonel Bhatnagar spearheaded high impact defense ICT programs at L&T and later held the position of Chief of Staff in the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting and the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. Most recently, he served as director of two key academic institutions at the Rashtriya Raksha University, the School of Information Technology, IT, AI, and Cybersecurity, and the School of Applied Sciences, Engineering, and Technology. So we're so glad you could make time to join us today. And with your career that spans military operations, tech innovations, and policy leadership, you bring we hope you bring a uniquely holistic view at the whole evolving AI security nexus. I will now go on to our second speaker, Colonel Dr. Dinesh Kumar. He is highly respected academic strategic advisor and defense technologist. He holds a PhD in IT and cybersecurity and is currently serving as a professor at IPS Academy, where he leads courses on AI/ML and cybersecurity. Sir has served as the Secretary for Indo-US Cybersecurity Cooperation and has contributed to high-level forums internationally, including the Plenary Forum of the US Department of Defense and the US Naval War College. Colonel Kumar is a member of the Indian Army AI Philosophy Task Force and sits on the Board of Studies for Digital Transformation at the William Carey University. He also actively mentors emerging defense tech innovators and various incubation centers and think tanks, and is the founder director of MED Consulting. We are truly fortunate to have both these speakers with us today. Their combined experience spans the battlefield, the boardroom, the classroom, and global policy tables. Over the next hour, we lean into their insights to understand how India can harness AI for strategic advantage while staying vigilant about the risks it brings. Now, before we dive into the moderated discussion, we'd love to hear your opening thoughts, your broad reflections on today's theme, and what you believe we should be thinking about more deeply. Colonel Bhatnagar, may I invite you to begin?
Thank you, Anhaietaa. And at the onset, uh, let me thank you and FSL for curating this webinar. And I think we are very clear, all of us, that this is the need, this is the requirement. And we as a nation are working towards it. We are surging ahead in this domain. And I'm extremely glad that I have this opportunity to share the digital space with Colonel Dinesh. Colonel Dinesh has been a mentor. He has been, the guiding light as far as AI and cyber is concerned for the Indian Army. Besides being a phenomenal human being and a great soldier, I've had the privilege of serving with him when he was commanding the regiment which was looking after the icy heights of Siachen. I was next door to him looking at Kargil, and of course, phenomenal. I mean, it was always a privilege to meet him there. Getting back to the AI, well, I think all of us, at least from my younger days, I started off with Terminator, and the present generation is looking at Mission Impossible, uh, which is typically the latest movie, which is on, and everybody is watching it, the impact of AI and so on. So the next war, as we see, may not typically start with a missile, with a drone, or even a cyber attack for that matter. We are looking at various other facets of dominance, of asserting our national will. However, all these things which are there, it might begin with something far less visible. An algorithm possibly making the wrong decision, or perhaps the right one, which may be a few seconds too late. And believe me, whatever is there in the movies, in the tech magazines, it is no longer a theory, it is a stark reality of the world that we are stepping into. AI has moved out of research labs and into the very heart of national security. It is already shaping how we watch our borders, track hostile activity, guard our networks, and make real time decisions that can save or maybe cost lives. But here's the uncomfortable truth: AI is not inherently loyal to us. It can be a guardian when we build and control it wisely. It can as easily become a glitch, a silent vulnerability that adversaries exploit, or worse, a tool that betrays us from within. And for India or Bharat, this is the turning point. We stand at an intersection of two paths. One, where AI gives us unmatched foresight, speed, and strength to protect our sovereignty, and another where we rush ahead blindly, dependent on foreign tech, unaware of the hidden risks, and find ourselves compromised in ways we cannot even detect. So I believe this conversation which we are going to have just now is not about technology alone. It's about power. It's about sovereignty, survival in a world where decisions are no longer made by diplomats, politicians, soldiers, spies, but increasingly by lines of code running faster than human thought. Will AI be the steadfast guardian of our nation, or the fatal glitch that undermines everything that we have built? That is something we need to see. And that is how I think I'm going to be structuring this conversation, of course, along with Colonel Dinesh. Back to you, Anahita.
Thank you, Colonel Bhatnagar, for setting that stage so compellingly. Colonel Kumar, over to you. What should we be paying close attention to in this evolving space, according to you?
Thank you, Anahita. Thank you very much, and thanks to the Future Shift Lab for organizing this meet. And thanks to the people who joined this. This being a Sunday, I'm sure you must have had plans to do something more important as a family for you. But the mere fact that you are here on this platform, it shows that you are interested in a technology which is embedded without our knowing it, embedded into our lives since decades, I would say, not a matter of few years. And thanks, Nidhish. We have been crossing each other at various juncture. One thing which has not been read out in your profile is that you had been pioneering the GIS technology also, I think about a decade back. Both of us, Anhaietaa, we both have trotted the landscape of Leh and Ladakh, including Kargil and Siachen together. So thanks for getting two of us face to face in a conversation on something as important as AI. My perspective about AI is deeply colored with my background, what I have. It's been almost like 20 years that I have been in this field. From the first time I became a secretary of the Indo-US Cybersecurity Cooperation Forum. And thereafter, year on year, something had been happening, including the setting up of CERT India. We were lucky to get involved with that too. Then for last 10 years, I have been teaching and mentoring the cybersecurity as a tool and technique, as also mentoring the researchers who are interested in cybersecurity research. To tell you frankly, it is sometime in 2019 that the AI started bugging me. It started bothering me, Before that, I never thought of AI. And it happened because it started intruding in my space, that is cybersecurity. When it comes to vulnerability scanning or automatic exploit generation, that is the event which has raised hackles. So I would say, using an informal terminology, that I had started flirting with AI sometime in 2019, while I was still wedded to cybersecurity. I don't know, in last 7 years, when did this flirt got converted into a full-fledged affair, right? And now I'm in a situation that AI and cybersecurity, they both are living with me. It's a kind of a polygamy situation, right? And I can't do without it. So I've been involved in Military College of Telecom Engineering, where I teach and guide especially military students from India and 42 other friendly foreign nations who contribute their students here with us. What I'm going to do is that for last 5 years, I have been out of the uniform and involved with the young minds in colleges where I'm teaching, as you said, AI and ML and cybersecurity together. So my concern of national security involves 50%, more than 50% of our youth. As we say, India's population, more than 50% are under 35. So they are the ones who have, knowingly or unknowingly, are already immersed in AI, if I have to say. So my concerns about security spans over this clientele, in addition to what happens in the defense forces. So as we go along, what I'm going to do is I'll talk about the promises which the AI has for all of us, and at the same time the disruptions which it has been causing and may likely to cause as we move ahead in the future. Then I'm also going to compare and contrast how the two giants, that is US and China, they look at the development and democratization of AI. That's very important to consider, to draw out the inferences as to how it is going to impact the national security at our nation's level or at the level of at the global level. Thereafter, I'm going to just trace the trajectory of how the compute power has been accelerating for last 5 years, right? And where it is going to lead us in the near future. That perhaps is going to give us some clue. How far are we away from AGI, that is the artificial general intelligence and artificial super intelligence, so to say. And lastly, coming to the theme which we have given for the bridge today, the guardian and the glitches. I am going to what the Nidhish has already said about Terminator. I'm going to say, how are we going to look at AI so that it becomes an Iron Man and not Terminator? You know, Iron Man and Terminator are two things which our younger friends are very, very accustomed to. So we are going to see, will the AI be Iron Man for us, or will it be a Terminator? That's it I have to say as my opening remarks. Over to you.
Thank you so much. So let us now begin with the session. To help us unpack these complex dynamics and reflect on how India can stay strategically ahead in the age of AI, we now turn to Colonel Nidhish Bhatnagar. Colonel, you often speak about the dual AI challenge, balancing innovation with vigilance. Could you open by helping us understand what that balance looks like in practice for a country like India?
Thank you, Anhaietaa, and awesome to hear Colonel Dinesh's opening remarks. And I really look forward to, really listening to him and hearing him and drawing some lessons from him, as also this wonderful audience who is here. Getting back to you, Anhaietaa, yes, it is all about where we are going as a nation. It is all about innovation. It is all about research. It is all about development. But I think let me start by speaking about national security. Uh, you see, previously when we spoke about national security, the images were very predictable. It was maybe our soldiers holding the lines, the front lines on our borders, maybe warships on the ocean, fighters in the air above us, screaming across the skies. Well, for decades, that was our mental map, which kept India safe. Well, things have changed over the last, if you look at over the last about a couple of years, 3 years, maybe even up Sindhu recently. The definition which I was speaking about previously is not just outdated, it is dangerously incomplete. Today, national security is way beyond defending our land and sea. It is about everything that sustains a nation's sovereignty, stability, and future prosperity. So let me talk about a broader picture. Military defense, our armed forces continue to be the bedrock of security. But now the battlefield extends beyond the traditional battlefields of land, sea, and air into space, into the electromagnetic spectrum, into the minds of people. AI is flying drones, analyzing images, guiding missile defenses. But at the same time, AI can be jammed, spoofed, hacked, adversarial AI, turning our technological edge into a vulnerability in seconds without even realizing it. Cyber and information security, our networks are our new borders. A hostile AI driven cyber attack on a C2 or a command and control system, or a power grid, or a bank could paralyze a city, a hospital could do anything which would have consequences which are disastrous. Information has been weaponized. Truth is itself under attack. And I've already spoken about the critical information to critical infrastructure and its protection, power plant, transport systems, airlines, railways, you name it, it's there. Energy security, we are all aware about other facets of security, energy security, food security, water security, all of these add on onto our national security. Internal security and policing, AI gives us tools to track terror cells, analyze crime patterns, and preempt attacks. Yet the same technology can spread hate campaigns, incite mobs, destabilize communities faster than law enforcement can react. Similarly, about economic and financial security. And let's come down to the core fabric of our nation, political and democratic security. Elections, public discourse, leadership credibility are actually under assault from AI-generated deepfakes. You spoke about that in your opening remarks. Fake narratives, influence operations designed to fracture societies from within. Citizen happiness and prosperity, and that is the core point of a nation like ours. Let's not forget. National security is not only about preventing war or terror, it's about ensuring that our people live in dignity, peace, and prosperity. AI can improve governance, education, and healthcare, but also can be misused. The reality to this is AI has penetrated every layer of national security, from the battlefield to the ballot box, from energy grids to water taps, from farm fields to financial systems. It decides what threats we see, how we react, and even what future we prepare for. And we must never forget one thing. Unlike a few of us, AI does not wear our uniform. It does not pledge loyalty to our constitution. It does not speak about nation first, always first. It's a tool, it's a force multiplier, but also a potential Trojan horse. If we rely blindly on it, if we import it without understanding its control mechanisms, we risk building our security on someone else's code. And that is where your question lies. What about innovation and indigenization? We need to focus on a foundation. We may not, we cannot have something which we don't fully own or fully trust. And that takes us on to whether AI is a strategic enabler. Well, my friends, on this conversation, for decades, our national security was something different. Now it is totally a variant to what we thought it was. Let me take you through this. We have been developing systems, and I'll cover all facets of security which are there. Intelligence fusion and anticipatory defense. Imagine this. There are tensions on another border. Traditionally, it takes hours, sometimes days, for intelligence officers to sift through satellite images, intercepted communication, drone feeds, human reports, social media signals. By the time a pattern emerges, an opportunity to prevent escalation is lost. And why I'm discussing this is because Anhaietaa asked me to delve a bit on this aspect. Now imagine an AI-powered National Intelligence Fusion Center, which ingests millions of data points. A slight change in heat signatures across a ridge, maybe a surge in encrypted messages from across the border, a coordinative narrative strike on social media. We have gone through how the manipulation of the mind takes place. We are all aware about the Greta toolkit. But we need to find patterns which are invisible to the human eye. AI doesn't just warn us of maybe some skirmish which is coming up. It can forecast maybe supply chain buildups, predict insurgent movements, even simulate adversary reactions to different Indian responses. This is not hypothetical, by the way. NATO has deployed AI fusion tools in conflict zones to provide commanders with real-time predictive battlefield awareness. The Iron Dome of Israel, some of us would have read about it, some of us would have experienced it. It makes split-second life and death calculations on maybe interceptions using AI. We as India, as Bharat, need our own indigenous sovereign versions of such systems, tuned to our geography, tuned to our adversaries and our security priorities. Let's also move on to cybersecurity and digital sovereignty. Cyber war is now a permanent reality. And cyber war is not only restricted to our laptops and workstations and our servers, it is everywhere. It is our mobile phones, it is our minds, it is our power grids, it is everywhere. A single malicious algorithm can paralyze our airports, freezing banking transactions, cripple a city's power supply, or lock down hospitals during a pandemic. AI can be seen as an unseen guardian, scanning billions of data packets every second, flagging anomalies no human analyst can possibly detect. Estonia, consider Estonia, a small country, maybe a country smaller than some of our districts even. I've had the privilege, along with my team, to operate and work along with the Estonian mines, along with certain other forces out over there. Estonia has built an AI-powered cyber shield that repels thousands of attacks every day. Estonia is totally digital. The US Cyber Command uses predictive AI to detect intrusion attempts before they even breach networks. Us, India, with our scale and population and growing digital economy, need a national AI-driven cyber defense grid, an immune system for our nation's digital body, built on our own algorithms, our own people. We have the best minds in the world. Our minds are the ones which are powering and fueling the rest of the world. We need to build it here. We need to ensure that our code is our own and not foreign black box systems we cannot fully trust. Similarly, for our internal security and law enforcement, AI can help police and intelligence agencies get ahead of crime and terror. Right now, our forces are drowning in data. You can imagine Delhi has got 3.5 lack CCTV cameras deployed. All those feeds coming in, it's humanly not possible. Similarly, for our borders where feeds are coming in, that is where we require AI, and not AI for the feeds which are coming in, intercept messages, darknet activity. Much of it remains unanalyzed before it gets too late. So AI can really help out over there, map criminal or terror networks from fragmented data, detect early patterns of possible communal tensions before they explode into violence, flag child exploitation material in real time, shutting down predators before they strike again. Trace terror financing through crypto wallets. I and my colleague, we were in UP talking to the senior level IPS officers about crypto and how it can be really dangerous in the days to come. In the US, AI-led analysis has broken down human trafficking rings spanning several states. The UK is testing AI to predict crime hotspots, prevent attacks. We need to deploy similar tools, but again, with robust legal guardrails. The issue lies is that we do not have guardrails. Why India? Globally, we have very few guardrails in place. We require guardrails and human oversight to ensure technology strengthens justice without violating citizen rights. Similarly, for energy, food, and water security, we can forecast droughts, we can monitor river levels. Countries like Japan and Netherlands have AI managed flood and water systems. Global leaders are already using AI to secure agriculture against climatic shocks. We, as India, must treat food, water, and energy security with AI. While the Honorable Prime Minister has already made a mention that cybersecurity is no longer restricted to the cyber domain, it's a matter of national security. We need to get we need to get on the AI bandwagon very soon. The military is already in the process of working on defense systems, next gen warfare. I'm not talking about autonomous systems, but I'm talking about something which can support, not decision makers as of now. I'm not too much of a promoter of autonomous systems where AI can take human lives, whichever way. But imagine a AI-driven drone swarm deployed on deployed on the line of control. While each drone coordinates with the rest using machine vision to track intrusions, assess intent, and push back to the decision maker to authorize to disable hostile drones or inflict casualties. We have the US and Israel have operational loitering munitions guided by AI. Russia and Turkey have field tested AI swarm tactics. We cannot rely on manual era doctrines in an autonomous age battlefield. We need AI-powered counter-drone defenses, loitering precision weapons, AI-driven anti-air missiles, anti-missile shields, whatever we name it. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, space is the new battlefield. Space and orbital security. We need to have autonomous space situational awareness. AI-powered counter-space operations. We need to start working on it right now. The US Space Force has invested heavily in the AI for orbital defense. China has demonstrated an orbit AI satellite management. We need to ensure that our strategic space assets are AI protected. And before I hand over back to Anhaietaa for her next query, I'm so sure I've spoken too much on this query, but we also need to look at political and cognitive security. The most dangerous battlefield is not the physical one, it is the psychological one. Both adversaries across utilize bot armies, deepfakes, synthetic propaganda. And that is where AI is a double-edged tool. You have AI-driven disinformation and misinformation campaigns designed to divide societies, fuel violence, and weaken democracies. But AI also needs to be part of defense. While tools exist, they need to be integrated. For India, which is the world's largest democracy with over 1 billion voices online, protecting truth itself has become a matter of national security. We must never forget that AI brings speed and scale, not wisdom or judgment. And the question is not whether AI will make decisions, it is whether India's will ensure that decisions align with our values, our sovereignty, and our humanity. If we build this foundation now, sovereign, ethical, resilient, AI won't just defend our borders, it will protect our people, our prosperity, and our future. Anhaietaa, back to you. I've got so much more to talk about, but back.
Thank you so much, Colonel Bhatnagar, for that incredibly layered and strategic overview. In fact, what you've said, you've helped us set a very sharp foundation for today's conversation. And I'm sure many people, including us civilians, we do not even realize the uh, deep penetration of AI in so many things around us. So I would really thank you for that. And I would also like to remind everyone that we'll be opening the floor to questions towards the end of the session. So please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box as we go along. I will now turn to Colonel Dinesh Kumar. Colonel, as artificial intelligence reshapes everything from geopolitical competition to the character of warfare itself, how do we understand the divergent development models of nations like the US and China and the accelerating race for compute power, the urgent questions around regulation and ethics that remain largely unresolved? I'm sure I've asked too much in one go, but over to you, Colonel Kumar.
Thanks a lot, Nidhish. You covered a very, very vast spectrum of the security concerns of the nation as the AI impact them. What Anhaietaa just spoke, she spoke about our civilian friends who are here with us in the meeting. I just want to dive deep into what is how the AI has creeped in our life. And I mean, it is all over us now. It is something like, I think 2013 or something, 2013, about internet, that without our realizing, in the last quarter of the last century, we didn't realize, and the internet was creeping all over us, and it became synonymous to oxygen for breathing. I think the same thing has happened as far as the AI is concerned, whether we know it or we don't. But the AI has got embedded into our lives. And I mean, the simplest example I could give is when you are watching a YouTube video, how does the algorithm of Google, gives you a recommendation of what you would like to watch next. So that has been possible by AI only. Let me go to a very interesting gentleman, Arvind Narayanan, who happened to visit here. Arvind Narayanan is a professor at the Princeton University, and he wrote an excellent book. And I have a copy of the book, which I hope it is readable in straight, right? AI Snake Oil, right? Very interesting book. Anybody who wants to dive deep into AI, how the journey has begun, and what it is able to do, and what it won't be able to do, must read this. Okay, so he cites a very interesting thing that in the beginning of the last century, there used to be snake oil peddlers in US, and they used to sell the medicines based on snake oil, and which were the cure of everything. Later, in 1906, when the Food and Drug Administrative Department of US came up, and then they literally went into it, and they found all the claims are bungled up. They are just that yes, they can. These are ineffective but harmless. So many among us go to extent of terming the AI as a snake oil. It can do everything possible. If I have to quote the gentleman called Mark Andreessen. Mark Andreessen has invested heavily in the development of AI. He makes a very, very sensible statement when he says AI can make everything we care about better. The development and proliferation of AI, far from a risk that we should fear, is a moral obligation that we all have towards ourselves and our next generations which are coming. So it all depends on, as Nidhish spoke about the guardrails. If we have the guardrails in place, if we have the foundations which are ethical while we are developing AI, if we ensure that, then perhaps the dangers to which Nidhish Bhatnagar was pointing to might have a lesser severity when it comes to impacting the population and their minds. Right. But let me also give another example. I'm just basically coming to how is it that it is happening with such a great speed that we have AI models which have, given the capability to the bad guys and the good guys to do whatever they wish to do. I'm sure those who have, good understanding of AI, they would have heard of ImageNet. ImageNet, it was the product of Boston Lab and jointly the Princeton World Lab, as they call it, where there's a great AI scientist by the name of Dr. Fei Li, Feifei Li, who spoke on the recent AI seminar which happened in the World Economic Forum. The ImageNet, which has been developed, as far as the perception goes, there is no technology which can compare with the deep neural network when it comes to perceptions. And that is the driving force which has led to development of very many models thereafter. The another thing which has happened is that the deep learning has outperformed the traditional methods as far as the speech recognition is concerned. These are two things which are there, which are leading to very many frauds also, and this is also leading to development of very powerful models which can help, like Nidhish has said, analyzing these satellite imageries and things like that to derive intelligence out of it. Okay. So the power which the AI gets, and it's been able to do what it is doing now. It doesn't need a break for coffee or lunch or dinner. The GPUs are working 24/7. The data centers are churning data, and the LLMs are capable of handling millions of tokens per second as we talk. Right. So that's the power which is driving the AI, and the next leap forward of AI, which has already started, which was expected to come sometime next year, is the agentic AI. So these are the promises which AI hold for all of us. But at the same time, since I deal with the community, my clientele is that younger lot, which is there, say 50% of the India's population, which is under 35. I only give one caution: use it to enhance your productivity and efficiency, but never treat AI responses to your prompts as the last word. Nowadays, most of the LLMs have started giving a red ink written warning down below. This is an AI generated response. It should only be taken as a reference. So you need to go and verify things. Now, let me give you a few examples of disruption also. We have suddenly seen, that the customer care service is going out of practice. Right? You don't hear an executive at the other end of the phone when you call up someone. The state today is at a cost of, say, minimum $10 to $1,000 and about 2 to 3 GPUs. You get a capability of handling concurrent customer calls in terms of thousands in concurrent time. And what by next year, what the industry is doing, that they are scaling it up, and they are scaling it up to the level that they are able to handle 10 million customer care calls concurrently. Right? That's the disruption which is going to be there. And we hear last week that TCS has laid off people in mass, right? 12,000 or something. Others are laying off silently in small bits and pieces. But the answer lies that the skills which the AI is, demanding from us should be acquired as soon as possible. Otherwise, I remember, Nidhish also would remember, in 2013, we had the National Cybersecurity Policy, which came out from the MITI. And the policy said that by in next 5 years, we need 5 lakh cybersecurity professionals. We have had another cybersecurity policy, which has come in 2023. Me and Nidhish would both agree that we have not reached a level that even if we drop 1 or 2 zeros from the list we wanted, we have not reached that. Because the acquisition of a skill has been too slow. In case of cybersecurity, imagine an AI which is progressing so fast, what the skill demand would be from us, right? Now, let me come to comparing these two models, as you asked for, US and China. While US is following a developmental model, which are capital intensive, and nearly all the models, I'm saying nearly with a little caution, nearly all the models are proprietary, right? And you have Grok and all, which are having hundreds and thousands of GPUs. I mean, the name of the GPU of X AI is Colossus. It is Colossus, actually. 100,000 GPUs, having a processing capability of 10 to the power 25 flops, right? Handling millions of tokens per second. So that's the model which the US follows. But the problem with this model is that the cost of handling the prompts or cost of handling the token is fairly high. That is why you have such heavy subscription rates when it comes to the models which are of little higher productivity and efficiency oriented. Look at the DeepSeek, an open source model. They don't use the kind of GPUs which are put in one data center, which are drawing close to 300 megawatts of power. They adopt to something known as clustering. Say about 1,000 odd GPUs, hundreds of such clusters being used together in an open source model. And look what they've done. 3 months ago. And look now, last week, the Gemini had reached Gemini 2.5. What Gemini 2.5 had done after 2 weeks, DeepSeek has done it with 1/100th of the cost. And these being open source, most of the industry which are working in AI for developing their models are going to adopt open source AI, because this is going to be pretty cost effective for them. They can drive their productivity and efficiency from that. Look at the ZAI, which has come last week, last week rather, which was originally named as Zifu AI, ZIPHU, Zifu, ZAI. ZAI is phenomenal, right? Okay. So this is the power we are having.
But Anhaietaa, I'll just take on from, just to keep the conversation going till such time when Dinesh is back.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was speaking brilliantly, and especially things which are contemporary. And we are speaking about AI, we are speaking about where we are going. But at the same time, we also need to consider that we spoke about AI as a guardian. But your talk also spoke about glitches in the AI system which are there. And these are, and since AI is not something which is developed by some other force, a higher, power which is giving us AI. No, it is developed by us. We as humans are the ones who are developing it, and AI can create strategic vulnerabilities in whatever we are doing. Algorithmic misjudgments. Can you imagine that? How is the AI taking decisions? It is AI doesn't understand nuance, emotion, or context as of now, at least. It just sees data patterns. And imagine, and it has happened, a predictive policing algorithm which flags an entire community as high risk because of past crime data, biased data sets. Raids are ordered, people are arrested, and it has happened in the US. It has happened a number of times. Trust between the police and citizen collapses overnight. A glitch in the algorithm. Similarly, border security and AI surveillance tool might mistake a farmer's tractor or a dog for something which is far more hostile, right? So all this is not science fiction. One wrong algorithmic decision doesn't just affect a report. It can trigger war or destabilize a society. I really do not want to go into historical nuances wherein a technical glitch has caused. When I used to teach ethics in the university, and used to talk about how a wrong map in on Google caused some territory of Costa Rica to go away. So these are the things, and we need to be very very sure about where we are. AI as is an attack vector, and it is a new weapon in adversary's hand. We have already spoken about it. If you recollect, in 2020, a European CEO, I do not want to name the firm, was tricked into transferring $240,000 because hackers cloned his boss's voice using AI, and that was 2020. You can imagine that this is the era in India of digital arrests. You can imagine how much AI is out over there. And we need to really get out of foreign tech dependence. We spoke about, of course, I was reading, something by the government, it was news thing that we are moving into nanometric semiconductor fab as we speak as of now. And at some point of time, we will move into 2 to 3 nm semiconductors. So that is it. Most of the AI chips, cloud services, and foundational models as of today are controlled by foreign corporations or foreign nations. And what does this mean in a crisis? Well, if our access is cut off, you may have backdoors, you may have AI systems which could be going dark. And one doesn't know what is there in the AI if we just pick it up blindly from there. Then we come down to a governance gap, a race without rules. Can we really have that? Well, we do not have a national AI security doctrine. If I'm not wrong, in 2017 or 2018, we had the AI strategy coming out, written by Mr. Chandrasekhar, who's now, of course, the head of Tata Sons. But as of now, there are no clear laws defining how much AI can we use in surveillance, who authorizes autonomous weapons, what safeguards exist if AI makes a wrong decision that costs lives. And without clear boundaries, AI adoption could violate privacy, could erode civil liberties, could be turned against our own citizens intentionally or accidentally. And globally, we have seen this play out. Automated facial recognition system in some countries have led to state overreach and wrongful profiling. Well, the military AI accidents are already forcing rather debates in the United Nations about meaningful human control over autonomous weapons. Well, the glitch isn't in the software. The glitch could be in our overconfidence. Colonel Dinesh was speaking about reliability on Chat GPT and Gemini and so on. Our unpreparedness, our capability to think without AI also,
Yes.
and our dependence on technology which we don't fully control. AI can fail us by accident or be turned against us by design. But when
Right.
national security is at stake, a single glitch is not a bug, it's a potential catastrophe.
Thank you so much for taking over. In fact, I think since we are basically on time, we can now take some questions from the listeners. I'm going to start with, okay, there's a question addressed to you from Sunanda. She says, what are the best practices India has adapted from Estonia?
Oh, lovely. That's a lovely question. Well, if you take your mind back to 2007, when Estonia came under attack, a huge amount of cyber attack, And I will not name from whom or whosoever. Of course, we can all read about it. But the attributability was towards its neighboring country from which it had broken off and established its own. And then the talent manual was written, the first talent manual, and then the second talent manual, and so on. And very recently, EU has come out with an AI framework. And that framework has been designed by a number of professors from a number, as also people in industry, academia, researchers, and so on, governance, and Taltech, that is a Talent Technology University, has been intimately associated with it. I and my colleague were a part of it, just in an advisory capacity for with Taltech, with the Dean of Legal and Technology Studies. But getting back to your question is, as we as a nation, what have we got? Well, digital trust frameworks and transparent governance. And that is something which we have got in within us. The Indian AI Safety Institute, launched earlier this year, is set to set a standard for ethical and safe AI grounded in Indian social and cultural conditions. Also, you are all aware about the India for AI for India mission, or the India AI mission. The Honorable Prime Minister has been speaking about it in multiple forums. It follows the EU's responsible AI approach, a hub and spoke model for promoting interoperability. Then, our own cert in, we have adopted a number of value additions from EU and Estonia, data sovereignty and AI localization. Again, when we're talking about Estonia, I'm not talking about Estonia per se. I'm talking about Estonia and the European Union. Our own DPDP, while it is not, it has it has got some inspiration from the GDPR, but it is definitely, and it's got mandatory local storage for AI rules embedded into it. Then ethical AI certification is very much there. AI skill development, public awareness, AI competency framework, which is we are awaiting for it to be launched by the government of India. India's AI portal. So I think there are lots of things which we have, I would not say picked up, but yes, which we have taken the best practices from Estonia, EU, US, globally. And in a similar manner, a lot of these nations have picked our brains, have picked our thoughts, have picked our policies to implement these things in their own. I hope that answers.
I think Colonel Dinesh has joined us back. Sir, are you there? I can see his name here. No worries. I think he's telling me that he's joined from his phone. But sir, you can still be audible
Can you
to
hear
us.
me?
Yes, we
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Not an issue at
Okay.
all.
Okay, I think there was some problem with my Wi-Fi network, so I have joined from my phone.
No worries, sir. In fact, we are just in the middle of answering questions put up by the audience. There is
Okay,
a
great.
question directly addressed to you, which says
Yeah.
that the predictive policing, the predictive policing and facial recognition of AI has shown biases globally. How can India deploy AI for law enforcement and counter-terrorism without risking wrongful profiling or societal unrest?
The somewhere Nidhish has brought out that these kind of models have to be based on the indigenous. This thing. We can't use a model which has been developed by somebody else, and the data on which these models have been trained. If there are two initiatives by Government of India. One initiative is known by the name of Data Dan, Dan as in Hindi, right? And another is AI for India. That portal is very famous, which is there. Okay. During I was in Delhi that time during the G20 last year. the predictive policing in a very, very narrow scope was tried out, and it was only limited to the area of this place called Mandapam, Bharat Mandapam or something in the in our what Pragati Maidan area. So in a limited geographical area, this was tried out, and it was quite successful, as I was told by my friends from the law enforcement. And the Indian government, and I saw another model which was being tried out at Bureau of Police Research and Development. We have this organization in Bhopal. I happened to go and visit there. So I found a proof of concept level model over there also. So I hope I have been able to convey that these some models are at a various stage of maturity, and I'm not too sure because I'm not part of that ecosystem, but I do have information that these models are being tried out.
All right, thank you so much. We'll take one more question uh, from Rekha Dikshit. So, question is to either speaker. So, I think Colonel Bhatnagar, you could take this. How big is the lag between policies on AI use and regulation and the development of AI? With AI evolving so rapidly, how can we shorten the gap with speed and keep policies dynamic?
You see, one thing is very clear that you cannot rush into something which is, without actually figuring out. And we are huge. We are the largest HR in the globe, and that is our strength, a very diverse and a very unified strength. So any policy that we have needs to be well thought of. We cannot rush into something. We have everything with us. And as Colonel Dinesh was talking about, we have to ensure that our data, our algorithms, our guardrails are very much in place. And at no point of time am I saying that a guardrail needs to become a speed breaker. No. But we need to be very, very sure it is our diversity which is ensuring that our technology absorption becomes all encompassing. And towards this, I would say, the company to which I advise, Thorsec Global, that has been instrumental in drafting the AI policy and assisting states in formulating their own AI policy. Be it without naming the states because I'm governed by a certain confidentiality agreements, but that is how it is. And it takes time. It takes time. We can set up terms of reference, and then we can see and start off small and then move ahead. And we have academia supporting us. We have research and development. We have government. You talk about the triple IT's initiative of the Nishpaksh tool, right? Or our own Parakh AI for participatory algorithmic audits. Now, these are the requirements of the day. But yes, our policy is largely in place. We may not have a security strategy as far as AI is concerned. We may not have formulated AI guardrails in place, but I think largely we are very much there. But again, it is not that we are there 100%. We are working towards it as a nation, as each individual, as organizations, as departments. But to tell you very frankly, you make a policy, by the time it is in place, things have changed. That is the speed at which AI. I remember we were all, when AI came, we were all gaga, oh, it's predictive. Suddenly there was an overnight shift to generative, contextual. We had Chat GPT, and suddenly we had Gemini, and we had DeepSeek, and so on. And we thought that we had conquered all of it, and then we had agentic. That is how it is changing. So our policies largely are the ones which are going to define I would say, the direction. But end of the day, we cannot be so deep dive into those things that we suffocate our own thought process of AI developing and AI being implemented. Yeah, back to you,
Well
Anay.
said. Well said, sir.
Anhaietaa, if I may add to what Colonel Bhatnagar has said,
Please, sir.
in fact, we are better off than US in this aspect as far as the regulation. I won't say regulation, as far as the laying down and following of the guardrails is concerned. Do you remember the issue on which Trump and Musk fell apart? That big, beautiful bill, as Trump calls it. You know what that big, beautiful bill has in it? The compute capability up to 10 to the power 26 flops, which is yet to come. It is not there, right? The US big techs are only at 10 to the power 22 flops as of now. So in this bill, what is written at till 10 to the power 26 flops, the development of AI need not be regulated. So I don't know whether that thought process is correct or not, but I definitely agree with what Colonel Bhatnagar is saying, that let us not, while others are, going forward, let us not stifle or let us not suffocate our AI developing startups or companies by laying down unnecessarily restrictive policies. Yes, we must have policies that it is human centric. We must have policies that it is safe. But overriding for policies will stifle the development of indigenous AI in India. I just wanted to add that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for your thoughts. And now we conclude today's edition of The Bridge.
I have, with your permission, I have very little thing which I wanted to speak about, which I couldn't because my connection went haywire the time. I just want to take 1 minute,
Please, sir,
right?
please go ahead.
And this is again related to the security issues. And the security issues. See, there are two scenarios which I can think of. AI versus human, or AI versus society, or whatever you may call it. First scenario is that the development of AI as it is going today, if I consider the AI race which is going on between US and China, we used to talk about Iron Curtain when we used to talk about China. Today we have a Silicon Curtain. You know what is Silicon Curtain? That the silicon chips which are responsible for the development of artificial intelligence as far as the compute is concerned, those silicon chips are going to, put a silicon curtain between the two rivals. That is US and China, right? And both of them racing ahead to outpace each other. In that competition, given the geopolitical order, what it is today, and the kind of, trade stuff which goes on between the two nations, I am afraid that this should not spin out of control and result in something which is akin to whatever warfare you may call it, where the rest of the humanity suffers because of these two rivals. That is one. Second is, another scenario which I can give is that the scenario that AI is on one side and rest of the humanity on another side, humanity on another side. I mean, the AI algorithm, by the time you have millions of GPUs, or you have a scenario where AGI or ASI is coming up, the algorithms start managing our lives, which happens, in fact, if you just think deeply. Already the AI algorithms are somewhat managing our lives, right? So it shouldn't start happening that they are managing our lives and we are put in some sort of a digital prison. Everything which we do is being decided by the algorithms. And the second, which Nidhish also alluded to initially when he was speaking, that the AI start reshaping our political views and our culture. And the last but not the least is that the AI start re-engineering our bodies and minds. I'm sure we have heard of the Neuralink, which Elon Musk is very, very passionate about, which is producing the brain-machine interfaces, right? So with that kind of thing, if it is without guardrail, it shouldn't happen that we reach this thing and then the AI starts re-engineering our bodies and mind. And the ultimate fear which I have is that AI should not be allowed to destroy the human agency. We talked of agentic AI. What is human agency? Human agency is our thinking, our logic, our rationality, our reasoning. That AI should not kill. And it will only happen when we keep guiding people, the younger people, mentoring them, guiding them as to how to use it and with what caution should we use it.
Absolutely.
That's it I wanted to add. And towards the end, I'll again contribute once you come on to the wrap up.
I think, sir, we've already short of time. We're short of time at the moment, so I'm going to quickly summarize what we've discussed today, and we'll take each other's leave. Thank you so much for joining today's edition of The Bridge. We've heard how AI is not just another frontier of innovation, it's a force already altering the contours of national security. People like me used to think national security means land, sea, battlefield, but I think today's session has broadened our perspective, and now we know that uh, it is all around us in ways we couldn't have even imagined before this particular webinar. And the message is clear. India's national security architecture cannot remain static. While AI evolves by the minute, we need not just technological capabilities, but strategic foresight, ethical clarity, and cohesive policy frameworks. So, this is not just a tech debate, a tech discussion. It's a sovereignty question when we talk about for independence, and it must be treated as such. Thank you for both our distinguished speakers for leading this timely conversation, and to all of you, all the people in the audience for joining us on a Sunday afternoon. Thank you so much, and until next time, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Anhaietaa. Thank you, FSL.
Thank
Thanks,
you so much.
Nidhish.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure
Great
to
thoughts.
share space with you, sir.
Bye.
Yes.